1953. A grocery store in Columbus, Ohio. Tuesday morning. The woman moving through the produce section is 38 years old. She has a list. The list took her 12 minutes to make last night at the kitchen table, and it is organized in the order of the store layout, which she has memorized. She will not deviate from the list. She will not be in the store for longer than 35 minutes. She will spend $9.80. That is the exact amount she allocated in the grocery envelope on Friday. She does this every Tuesday. The grocery bill has not surprised her once in 7 years of marriage. The average American family now spends $1,066 per month on food. That is more than $12,000 a year. Nearly a quarter of that goes to waste, food thrown out before it is used. The USDA estimates that the average household discards between $1,500 and $1,800 worth of groceries annually. The 1950s housewife who managed her household well wasted almost nothing. Not from virtue, from method. 7 of her methods have been almost completely forgotten. Here is what they were. Trick 1. The price book. A small notebook carried to the store containing the name of every staple the household used regularly and the lowest price the woman had ever paid for it. When she encountered a sale price at or below the book price, she bought as much as her budget and storage allowed. When the price was above book, she bought only what she needed that week and waited for the cycle to come around. The price book was personal market intelligence. It represented years of accumulated knowledge about what things actually cost at their lowest, not what the store wished you would pay. Every well-managed household in the 1950s had one. Trick 2. Meat as a flavoring, not a main course. The 1950s housewife used meat differently than the modern American kitchen does. A pound of ground beef went into a dish that fed 6. A ham bone flavored a pot of soup that lasted 3 days. The roast chicken on Sunday became chicken salad on Monday, and chicken stock on Tuesday. Meat was expensive relative to household income in the 1950s, roughly twice as expensive as today when adjusted for average wages. That economic reality trained a generation of cooks to use every part of every piece of protein and to extend it through multiple meals. The result was a food budget that went significantly further and a waste figure that was close to zero. Trick 3. The weekly meal plan written before the shopping list, not after, before. The 1950s housewife knew what every meal for the coming week would be before she entered a store. The shopping list was not a reflection of what she happened to remember running low on. It was the exact ingredient list for 7 days of planned meals. Nothing went into the cart that was not already assigned to a meal. The meals were planned in a sequence that minimized waste. Sunday's roast chicken was Monday's soup. Wednesday's pot of beans was Thursday's bean and vegetable dish. The sequencing turned 7 separate meals into a coherent system where almost nothing was left unused. Trick 4. Never shop hungry. This rule appears in virtually every home economics textbook of the 1950s. It was not about willpower. It was about biology. Hunger activates the brain's reward circuitry and makes high-calorie, high-cost items more appealing. A woman who entered a store having just eaten followed her list. A woman who entered hungry was being physiologically manipulated by every display and end cap in the building. The 1950s housewife ate a light lunch before her weekly shopping trip. Not as a diet strategy, as a budget strategy. She was not different from you. She simply ate before she went. The strategy cost her nothing and saved her something every single week. Trick 5. Seasonal buying and home preservation. In the 1950s, the price of produce was not constant year-round. Tomatoes in August cost 9 cents a pound. Tomatoes in January cost 29 cents a pound. Women who canned, preserved, and stored bought heavily in season and did not buy at premium price out of season. A single afternoon in August with a bushel of tomatoes and a canning pot produced enough preserved tomatoes to last through February. The investment was time, not money. The Kerr mason jar cost 15 cents in 1952 and could be reused for decades. The habit of seasonal buying has been almost entirely displaced by the modern grocery store's promise of everything available at all times, at the price the store chooses to charge. Trick 6. The store rotation. 1950s housewives in households near multiple stores knew exactly which store had the best prices for which categories of items. The butcher had better meat prices than the A&P. The A&P had better canned goods prices than the corner grocer. The corner grocer had fresh bread at half price on Thursday afternoon. This was not loyalty to a brand. It was allocation of purchasing to the source with the best price for each item. Supermarkets understood this and worked hard to offer loss leaders, items priced below cost, to get women inside where they would buy everything else. The 1950s housewife took the loss leader and nothing else. She was not rude about it. She was simply very clear about what she was there for. Trick 7. Nothing leaves the store in a moment of whim. This is the rule that underlies all the others. The 1950s grocery trip had a list, a budget, and an allocation. Every item in the cart had been planned in advance and assigned a place in the week's meals. If it was not on the list, it did not go in the cart. Not because she had no impulses, because she had decided before she entered the store that the list was the authority, not the impulse. The grocery store, then and now, is an environment engineered to produce spending beyond what you planned. The 1950s housewife with her list and her price book walked through that environment wearing, in effect, armor. The armor was just a piece of paper. It worked completely. The sum of these 7 practices was a household that spent significantly less on food than its income might have allowed, wasted almost nothing, and was never surprised by the grocery bill. The woman who practiced all of them was not living without. Her table was full. Her pantry was stocked. Her household ate well every day of the week. She had simply refused to pay more than necessary for any of it, and she had the tools, the price book, the list, the meal plan, the seasonal calendar, to make that refusal systematic rather than occasional. Systematic is the word. A one-time good week at the grocery store saves you nothing. A system that runs every week saves you everything.